The New York Football Giants continue their search for their next general manager. Joined by Paul Dottino, I am John Schmelk. And Paul, the Giants interviewing Adrian Wilson, former NFL safety. Giant fans should remember him. He was a very good player in the back end. Also the Arizona Cardinals VP of Pro Personnel.
Well, let's talk about him as a player first, because that's where he cut his teeth in the NFL. 12 NFL seasons with the Cardinals, went to 5 Pro Bowls. Now, if you remember anything about him as a player, tough, hard-nosed, hit like a truck, and certainly loved to stuff things against the run from the back end. So you know this guy's got a lot of football blood in him.
He was one of those box safeties now. He was a very physical player. Now he would probably be an undersized linebacker in today's game with all these 220-pound linebackers running around. Now, Paul, what you like is that he had success with 2 different head coaches in Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury and Bruce Arians.
Yeah, went to the playoffs with both of those coaches over the course of his 7 years with the Cardinals organization. And again, this is a guy who you like the fact that he's been diversified, because during his time in the scouting and personnel department, he had some experience with the college area, also had some experience with the pro area.
And obviously he understands football players. He was one for a long time. He was around them. He understands what makes them tick. And, you know, it's very easy to scout somebody's tape. What are they good at on the field? But to get the judge of the type of player they are to bring in to make that culture in your organization right, I feel like former players will have a really good insight into finding those right types of guys.
Well, because they can also understand some of the pitfalls a little bit better, because they went through them as players. It's not just somebody sitting across the table from you saying, well, I think I know what you mean. No, this guy knows what you mean.
All right, now let's talk about some of the players that the Cardinals have drafted, Paul, over the years. And some of these names should be familiar to Giant fans. On the defensive side of the ball, Isaiah Simmons, a couple years ago, a player that we had a lot of debate as to whether or not the Giants might select him. Zaven Collins in this past year's draft, a big, unique 260-pound linebacker that plays on the edge, does a lot of different things. Then you go back a few more years before that, a guy like Budda Baker, who was a second-round pick and has really turned in to one of the leaders on their defense. And, of course, all these picks are important, obviously, but the one that matters the most that really got Arizona going down the path they're on is Kyler Murray, first overall.
Yeah, and that was a gamble, to be honest with you, knowing that he had the baseball background. And a lot of people said, well, does he have the heart for football? And even if he does, because he is a scheme-specific guy, well, Kingsbury is probably the guy who's going to make it work, but how successful is he really going to be? And, well, I think the proof's in the pudding right now.
Cardinals heading into the postseason, no doubt about it. For Paul Dottino, I'm John Schmelk. Continue tuning in to Giants.com, all the Giants' social media platforms, and other media avenues as we continue to track who the Giants are interviewing for their next general manager.